because one of the ways in which the European Union assesses languages or rates the different levels, they have a standardized system which is called CEFR, Common European Framework. And the idea is they rate languages from A1, which is beginner, then A2, which is intermediate A and B. Then you have B1. B1 is usually it's the pre-intermediate A, B together. B2, and also I think also intermediate is intermediate A is also included in B1. B2 is usually upper intermediate. C1 is advanced, and C2 is proficiency. So they use this six level system. They use it for all European languages: English, German, French, Spanish, Portuguese, whatever. And this is how they assess them. So in this book, this is considered B2. This book, Upper Intermediate, is B2. And you'll notice there's more emphasis or more focus on literary skills. This means there's more focus on reading, on vocabulary, on writing than listening, speaking. So there's a bit of a change. You'll notice this. So let me just find the students I want to send the link to, and you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay, so let's go to the book. Can you see the book?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's talk a little bit about today's topic. So the topic is... Alaikum salam. Hello, Ibrahim. Okay, alhamdulillah, good. So the topic is a global language. So let's talk a little bit about what does it mean to speak a global language, and can we consider English to be a global language? Is it a global language or not? What makes a language global? So all of these questions. But first of all, let's start a little bit with let's start first with some vocabulary. So the first one here, it says, number one, my first language is. Number two, to be bilingual in or at. What do you think is the right answer here? Who would like to guess?
Yeah, can I answer?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's be bilingual in.
Okay, let's choose in.
Yeah.
And to be fluent at or fluent in, what do you think?
In also.
Do you think it's to be fluent in a language? Okay.
Yeah.
And number four, to be reasonably good on or reasonably good at?
I go with at.
Okay. Okay, yeah. At. What about number five? Can get to in or can get by in?
I think it's by. Can get by in.
Okay.
And get to.
Know a little or know a few words of?
Few words.
A few
words, yeah.
And number seven, I can't, if you're talking about yourself, I can't speak a word. Is it of or is it with? What do you think?
Can't speak word.
I think of.
Of is correct.
Yeah.
What about number eight? I can have a conversation or I can make a conversation in, let's say, Arabic or Spanish.
I'll go with make.
Okay. All right. What about number
Or not?
9? I'm just going to choose your answers, but maybe someone disagrees with you here.
Yeah.
Does anybody disagree? And does anybody think number 8 should take have instead of?
I have make.
Oh, can have.
What do you think, Brian?
I'm not sure.
Hajar, what's your take on this, Hajar? What do you think?
Make.
Make, you also agree? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, number 9. You can say I speak some, let's say Spanish, but it's
Bit rusty.
it's a bit
Yeah,
rusty.
bit. I think as
Yeah,
a bit
Oh.
rusty.
Okay. And I picked up a bit of, or I picked up, let's say, or I picked off a bit of Spanish on holiday. Which one is?
Picked
I
up.
think, yeah, pick up.
Okay.
Pick up, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to check these in a minute. But before we check them, let's see how you can use some of these in sentences. So I think it's better to check them first, because this way, at least we can make a few sentences and make a short conversation using these expressions. So let's go to the summary. Let's see how many of these did we get right. How many do you think did we get right from this list, from 10? How many mistakes do you think we have? What do you think?
I think maybe, I'm not sure of, let me say of
I think
8.
7 of 10.
7 of 10? I think you're a little bit pessimistic. I think it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9 of 10.
Maybe 9.
I'm not sure about 4, and I think 4 maybe be reasonable, good, on or add. Yeah, I'm confused in 4 and also maybe 8.
Okay, let's take a look. So let's check. So here we have page 127. Let's take a look. Okay. Here it is. Okay, so bilingual in, which is correct. Fluent in was also correct. Reasonably good at was correct. Can get by in was correct. I know a few words of, correct. I can't speak a word of was also correct. So number 8 was incorrect. Only this one.
I confused, yeah.
So speak some, but it's a bit rusty. Pick up a bit of Spanish, whatever, on holiday. All right, so this is really nice. We got 9 questions out of 10 just from the start, which is great, I guess. And I think these are some of the expressions we use. Most of them are clear. I think maybe rusty. Rusty, when you use it in the context of language learning, it means maybe you're not as good as you used to be. That's the idea. Maybe you were better than this because lack of practice, you've become a bit rusty. I think also musicians use it. I think general skills, you can use this expression rusty. It means you haven't practiced in a while. You need to practice. This is the point. Okay, very nice. So we did that part. Let's use it to talk a little bit about our language skills. So let's see here. So who would like to go first and tell us a little bit about themselves and their background in language learning and speaking? So in part B here, it says, choose 5 phrases from number 1A and use them to make sentences about yourself or maybe people you know. Let's start with Samira, okay? Tell us a little bit, Samira, about yourself, about your language background. You can use some of these expressions to help you, but you can add others on your own. So you can go ahead.
Okay, if I'll start to talk, of course, Arabic is my first language and is mother tongue. But I have great passion towards the English language. I have studied from long time, but for some reason I can't get what I want from the language. I love it a lot. I read and I have read a lot of books and listening to many videos and watch movies, and I did all these things. But for a period of time, I think from 7 or 6 years ago,
Mhm.
I stopped involved in the language because of some reasons. But I can't stay far away from it for long. Just in 2017, I decided to come back and to do a much effort to pick up the language again. Uh, yeah, I attend a lot of courses and lessons and online, and I go to the many centers. I want to be honest, I wanted to be not professional, but at least to be fluent. I can, talk influence with people, and I can understand what I heard from, the channels and the native speaker, because I focus on when I start learning or listening. Most of the time, I go to the native speaker because I wanted to get it in a proper way.
Mhm.
This is, this is my story in language, and I'm still going on. I wanted to do something, and inshallah, yeah.
Okay, that's a nice story. So I think if we want to summarize your story, we can say, I don't know if correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you're a bit rusty now. Maybe you're a bit better. Is it correct? Or at this point in your language learning, you're better than they used to be when you first stopped. What is it?
Yeah, now I'm better than
Okay.
before, yeah.
Okay, so we can't
Yeah.
apply number 9. Number 9 is not true in your case. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting story. Let's hear from someone else. Brahim, tell us a little bit about your language learning background here, and maybe you can use some of these expressions. Choose a few of them to express yourself.
Okay. My first language was German, actually.
Okay.
But now I'm not really fluent in it. I just understand what they are saying, but I can't speak.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you fluent in any language other than Arabic? Would you consider
Maybe
yourself
English?
in English? You'd consider yourself fluent in English?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm better than a lot of people.
Okay.
I can't have a conversation in English.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is there a language maybe that you picked up on holiday or on a long trip? Have you picked up a language?
In the holiday, I took Japanese, but didn't really like it, actually.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. That's it, I think.
Okay, that's not bad. Let's hear from someone else. Let's Hajar, tell us a little bit about your story with English and how it worked, how it started. You can pick a few points, maybe from these 10 points that can help you.
Okay. So my first language is Arabic, of course, and I can have a conversation in English. I pick up a bit of Spanish on holiday. I know a little or no, I know a few words of Italian.
Okay.
So,
But
that's it.
can you get by in Spanish? Can you get by in Spanish?
No.
It's not that good enough, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you consider yourself fluent in English?
Not really, but I can understand very well.
Okay. All right. That's nice. That's interesting. Anyone else here? Let's see if someone else would like to tell us a little bit about their English. Okay. The rest are just listening. All right. So no one else. Okay. So let's continue. Here we're going to do a little bit of reading. So this is an interesting article about learning English around the world. So I think this is quite relevant to us. It's quite useful because we're doing exactly the same thing and we're learning English. So let's read about this article. And we have these 5 headings and we need to match them to the 4 paragraphs in the article. So we actually have 4 paragraphs, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have 4 paragraphs, but here's the catch, here's the trick. The trick is that we have 5 paragraphs, 5 headings. So there's a heading which is actually a decoy. It's there to trick us, really. We don't need it. So it's your job after reading the article to figure out which of these headings is not needed. Okay, do you get the question? Do you get the idea? Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, great. So I'm going to give you some time to read this, this quite interesting article, actually. So here it is. It says, the article is, where's English going? Where's English going? So I'm going to, whenever you reach the bottom, so you're going to start number 1, 2. When you reach the bottom, I think, okay, if I zoom out just a little bit, I think I can show the whole thing. Let me do that. Okay, so now the whole thing appears. Number 1 and 2, this is all of it, okay? When you want to start number 3, just let me know and I can, number 3 is also, number 3 is here at the bottom. Okay, when you finish number 2, please let me know, okay? So you can start.
I finished the paragraph number 2.
Okay. Anyone else? Same thing,
Me
Semyon?
too.
Okay,
Yeah.
Hajar, have you finished paragraph 2?
Yes.
All right, great. Let's check paragraph 3 here. Did you get to the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. السلام عليكم.
Alaikum salam.
كيف الحال؟
Hi, Noha, how are you today?
Fine. Thank you. So far so good. I'm okay.
Okay.
Mm.
We're doing a little bit of reading here. We have an article about the English language.
Okay.
Uh,
التكست book to face the same.
yeah, face-to-face, it's the same.
Face to face.
Yeah, remind me to send it to you later after the lesson.
Yeah, because I need which edition.
It's the second.
I have to buy it.
Okay. This one is the second edition.
Okay. Okay. I'll try to get one. Store.
Okay, have you finished the rest of the class? Have you finished reading the 4 paragraphs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Now, if
we have an extra.
yeah, we have lots of guests. We transformed our lonely two-student class into we have 10. We have 10 students. But some of them I think are just guests, just observers, silent observers. But for the ones who are in this class, let me introduce you to Samira. She's in this class. So this is Noha speaking, and Brahim, of course. These are in the class. Hajar, I'm not sure. I think Hajar is probably, she might stay here. She might go to intermediate. I think we'll see. But Samira and Ibrahim are here, yeah.
They are welcome.
Yeah.
كيف كان sorry, okay, let's continue our class. Just I wanted to
about the
ask him
exam.
about his exam.
Both of your exams are quite good. I still need to write the final mark because I was going through them earlier, and I was quite happy. I was quite pleased, to be honest.
Okay, but I hope next for next exam to be a bit professional, more professional for the question, please.
Yes, I know. I'm a little disappointed in myself too, because in the other lessons, the other levels, the pre-intermediate and elementary, it was a lot easier because they had their exams together in one PDF file to get the idea.
Yeah.
We didn't have the same mess I had with the intermediate. So I apologize for that.
Okay.
Okay, let's see your answers now. So remember, we have one extra heading that we don't need. It's a decoy, it's a trick, we don't want it, and we want to use the other four. So for the first paragraph here, paragraph 1, which heading do you think is the most suitable here? Let's have a vote. Let's see. What do you think, Brian? Let's see what you think first. Are you there, Brahim?
I suppose it's D, an English-speaking world.
D. Who thinks it's D?
Haneen.
Haneen. Hi, Haneen. Okay, so Haneen thinks it's D. Let me underline it. An English-speaking word. Who agrees? Samira, do you agree? Do you think D is the most suitable? Okay, so we have two votes.
I go with D also. Yeah.
E? Also E?
No, I go with D.
D. D. So we have two votes for D. Hajar, what do you think? Do you agree with your classmates? Do you think D is the best heading for paragraph 1?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so we have 3 votes. I think that's enough. What about number 2 here? What do you think is the best heading for paragraph 2?
I think it's E, passport employment.
Okay, so this is 1. Passport for employment. Who agrees? Was it Haneen speaking?
Yes.
Okay, who agrees with Haneen? Who thinks that's correct?
The same here. I agree with her. I think it's passport employment.
Okay, just let me write the answer here. So we said number 1 is D. All right, the third paragraph, the one about the Korean example. This one, what do you think?
A, maybe.
A, maybe. Is that you, Hajar? A?
Yes.
Okay, who agrees with Hajar? Who thinks that's right?
I agree with her too.
Okay, so we have 2 votes. Samira, do you also agree? Do you think this is correct for the third paragraph, English 7 days a week? What about the fourth and last paragraph?
Sorry, I mute my system. I go in number 3. I go with B.
B. Okay.
Yes, sorry. Yeah.
So we have another opinion here. Okay. What about number 4? Do you all agree it's C, or do we have other answers here?
B, a changing language.
Fatma thinks C. Number 3, even for C. Okay. What do you think, Hajar?
Number B. B goes with number 4.
For number 4, you think it's B, a changing language?
Yeah, for me, I go with B.
Also, we have 2 answers for B. So this means in Samira and Hajar's answer, I think Haneen too, this means that...
No.
Sorry, Samira?
Sorry, in the last one, I go with C, not B, not B, C.
People's attitudes of English. Okay.
Yeah, people's attitude to English. Yeah.
Okay, so we have some disagreements. Okay, so you think it's number
Yeah.
4. Disagreement is good sometimes, as long as it doesn't end in war.
Yeah.
Healthy disagreement is
Mhm.
good. Okay, so let's see if there's actually a place where you can find the answers. Otherwise, we'll just have to do it together. All right, so actually the correct answer is number 1, an English-speaking world. This is correct because it describes the number of non-natives which has exceeded the number of native speakers. So this is number 1. And the second one, a passport for employment. This is also correct because the focus of paragraph 2 is basically work. And you can clearly see that the main sentence or the main idea of this paragraph is this one, the first one. Okay, so that's why number 2E is correct. Number 3, now number 3 is where we had a little bit of disagreement. So actually here, number 3, the correct answer is English 7 days a week. Because here in number 3, the model they're speaking about, this is a type of immersion school. And the word which, or the sentence which actually paraphrases the heading, I'm looking for it right now, it's this one. Live here. So we have immersion schools, and then it says teenagers live in an all English environment for up to 4 weeks at a time. To get the idea.
Yeah.
So this is, you live there. This is an immersion system. It seems to be working well in Korea for some reason. So number 3, the correct answer is English 7 days a week. Now number 4 is a changing language. The correct answer is a changing language. This is the correct thing. The reason is because here they've already talked about some of the things that have already happened. It says here, these new speakers aren't just using the language, they're changing it. So this sentence paraphrases the heading, a changing language, okay? So that's the reason. People's attitude to English, if you want to think of it broadly speaking, you could say, yes, there is a bit of people's attitude to English, but I think we can apply this for the whole text, right? What do you think?
Yeah.
Because it also shows the perspective of learners rather than native speakers. So it's a little too broad, but changing language is a little more specific to the paragraph. By the way, this style of questions is very, very common in the IELTS exam. Anybody who's interested in taking the IELTS exam, this is one of the common types of questions, except in IELTS it's a little harder, and they don't give you just one extra heading. Sometimes they give you a lot more, but the concept is the same. So you have this kind of question in reading IELTS. All right, so this is a nice sort of intro into IELTS. Yeah, there is always a catch, that's true. Yeah. Okay, now let's check exercise number 3. So here we have a few words. Okay. All right. Yeah. I think you overdid it, Fatma. Okay, now let's take a look at number 3. So they want us to read the article again. What does it say about these numbers? So we have a few numbers. We just want to see what they refer to. So 350, let's test your memory, okay? And this is a bit unfair, but let's do this. 350 million, who can remember what it referred to?
It's the number of the native speakers of English.
All right, good memory, correct. I think that's Haneen, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, you're right, yes. 350 is the number of native English speakers. What about 3.5 billion? What's this?
People who speak English as a second language.
Yeah.
Non-native speakers.
Non-native speakers, but is this now, or is this
future,
Is
when
this
the-
an estimation in the future? What do you think?
I think estimated in the future, if I still remember.
Okay, let me see if I can show you both pages.
It's a prediction, I think.
All right, so I can show both pages. Good. Let me just zoom in. So this way you can see the article and the question at the same time. All right, now, if it's a little too far away. Okay, so we want to look for 35.5 billion. So here it is. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So this is what the British Council predicts in 5 years' time, the number of people who will be speaking English. Okay, so it's a future prediction or estimation. What about Dr. Beneke here? Who's this guy? Who's this person?
The Globish thing.
Is he the Globish person? No, that's not him. No, this is another person, I think.
I think the one who talk about the Tokyo, Toyota, and companies.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, correct. So Dr. Beneke, he's the one who talked about the statistics, a few statistics.
Yeah.
University.
Yeah,
by
the
far.
French guy was talking about the Globish, I think.
Yeah, Jean-Paul. Yeah.
Obviously, he's French.
Yeah, he's envious of the English language, as predicted from a Frenchie. All right, so actually this Beneke guy, Dr. Jürgen Beneke, he's talking about how English is becoming very, very common between non-natives. So if you put a Japanese guy with a Colombian guy, they won't speak Spanish and they won't speak Japanese to each other. They'll speak English. And this is probably one of the most common uses of English today in the world. It's between non-natives where they need some kind of middle ground. English serves this function. Okay, so 75%, what's this? Let's see if you can remember. Can you remember 75%?
The correspondence written in English.
I think you're right. Correct, yeah. The correspondence, the world's correspondence is 75% of it is written in English. What do we mean when we say 75% of the world's correspondence is written in English? What's this? What does it mean, Samira? In your opinion, what do you think?
What's the meaning of the sentence?
Yeah, the meaning of correspondence, 75%.
Correspondence means that all the research and analysis reports and a lot of these things which related to the whether it's science or politicals or something. It's most of them as 75% written in English.
That's it. Yeah, that's what they mean. It means all kind of communication going back and forth. 75% of it on a worldwide scale is done in English. Toyota, what did they? How did they talk about Toyota, or what was mentioned about Toyota? Who can remember without checking?
Toyota the same.
Okay, it's not fair. Let me show you. So Toyota is in paragraph 2.
The Toyota factory.
Yeah, so they mentioned the Toyota factory, but how is this relevant to the topic of language?
Well, I believe that Toyota is a multinational company.
It
so
is.
It needs a standard language, so all of its employees can communicate easily.
Correct, because Toyota has different factories around the world. So in this example, this specific example in the paragraph, they're talking about one factory in the Czech Republic. And because it's in the Czech Republic, so you'll have mixed nationalities. You'll have a few maybe Japanese supervisors, engineers, and you'll also have Okay, just give me a second. I need to close the window. Okay, so this is the idea. They're just telling us that in this specific factory, they chose English as the working language. So everybody needs to speak English. This was the point. What about immersion schools? I think this is, you can easily answer this.
Immersion school, they talk about South Korea experience in the language.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. So they talked about this system, but let's talk a little bit about this. How effective do you think this is? In your opinion, Samira, what do you think? This immersion system?
If I get it the right way, you mean if they implied all English in their schools and...
No, it's actually in this example, the one in Korea, you go and you live in an English village. Do you get the idea? It's not a school, or it's not a lesson like this one you take, for example, you study 2 hours English. And no, you actually live. You go to a place. Yeah, of course, this is more, it's more practical and...
Use English as everyday
life.
Everyday life.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
first. Many people made such an advocations about immerse yourself in English.
Yeah, I kind of agree with this.
To speak fluently, you just they used to say you have to immerse yourself in English.
Yeah, and it seems to be working because Koreans, I think on the Asian standard, they're a little better than other neighboring countries. The last statistic.
Yeah, like when you go as a student, when you want to speak English or to learn how to speak English, you go, for example, to
Brighton
and live with the
family.
family.
Yeah.
Live with the native family.
They're trying.
This is kind of immersion.
Correct.
They're trying to simulate a native English-speaking community.
Exactly.
So it becomes more natural and spontaneous.
Yeah, like a simulation. Yeah.
Their self-esteem also will be bolstered for sure.
Yeah, true. Yeah, because this is the goal. Yeah. They want students to get comfortable with it as a language of communication, and not just think of it like this is a lesson, this is a task, this is grammar, this is vocab. You know.
Yeah.
They need to, and I think if a person wants to copy this model without actually being in an English village, especially with our conditions and situations here in Libya, the closest you can do is mix things up. Take a course, watch a movie, read a book, get one of those self-study books. I always advocate to them. They're really good because you do an exercise and you check your answers. If they're right, that's great. You get a boost in confidence. If it's not, you learn from your mistakes. So you need to mix it and make some, find some online friends, chat with people, YouTube, mix it, apps, phone apps, Duolingo. The other one, there's another great app now. It's called NC, something like that. It's really good. So this is as close as you can get, I think, to immersion. Just combine it. Okay, and the last person here is this guy, Jean-Paul Nerrière. I don't know how you pronounce the last name, Nerrière. Anyways, this guy, I think one of you already answered it, maybe Haneen or someone else. He's the person who's... Yeah, he's the person who calls English Globish, or he thinks this is how English has become, how it has changed. And I think that's true. It has changed a bit, because the people who are using it, most of them aren't native speakers, so it's probably true. Yeah. Okay, so we have a few maybe opinion questions or speaking questions here. Do you think Globish will become more important than standard English? Why and why not? Or why not? So this is a nice opinion question. Let's see who would like to give us his or her opinion on this.
What they mean with the Globish?
Globish is this expression, or not expression, it's this word that a French guy, a former IBM executive, he believes that because of the influence of non-natives, just like us, our influence on the English language, he combined two words, global with English. So English it's not just the language that British people or English people use in England. It's becoming a lot more than that. And this new version, or according to his terminology, Globish is sort of a kind of a bit of a dry, straightforward communicative language. It's ripped away from its cultural associations. So this means it doesn't have idioms. There's no idiomatic language. There's no jokes. There's no, the kind of things which are a little hard for a non-native to understand. Idiomatic language is phrasal verbs.
Basic language skill, you mean?
Yeah, it's a much simplified and
much basic.
Yeah, it's basic. It's accurate, and you can make big sentences. You can make complicated, not complicated, but you can make your point in this version of English. But it's mainly for communication. It's not for anything else. It's without its cultural association.
Yeah.
So this is how the expert describes it. Now, what do you think here? Yeah, portmanteau. Yeah, without the last N, Fatma. Yeah, because it's a French loanword. I'm not sure how to write it myself, but that's it. Yeah, portmanteau is like a combination of two words into a new thing. Okay, so let's see your opinion on this question. Who believes Globish will become more important than standard English?
I think I agree with her. I agree with what she believes. I think I have the same opinion. I think the non-native speaker will be more, will use the English in a proper way more than the native speakers. Because they did a lot of effort to learn the language, to pick up it, and to be aware of the language more than the native speaker, maybe because they talk just slang words and they don't study it at from many sides at native speaker. If I compare it, even in our countries, in Arabic countries, maybe if some Japanese people, or Japanese people or from another country will study Arabic language, he will talk it in a proper way, in a good way, more than the Arabic itself themselves. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, because of that, I agree with her. I think the Globish will become more important.
Okay. Do we have any opposite opinions to this? Anyone who disagrees with this statement, or anyone who agrees, just like Samira, but maybe has another reason?
Just I wanted to make. I have a point here. I agree with that, with her opinion, but for becoming important than the standard one, I don't think so, because if Globish, as what you said, it's not standard one, I don't need to. It's just for example, to carry a conversation or just for chatting. So how could you do your academic work in English? For example, if you
No, I think Globish will include academic because it's mainly for I think it's mainly for work, and I'm not sure about study.
Okay, so yeah, I think because many people use many people think English is much important because the benefit they get from learning it is to learn, to communicate, to work, to ask, to get answers. That's it. So their culture not that important as the language. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, exactly. This issue of culture and language is there's you know a huge debate on the importance of culture in a language. Is language culture? Can you separate the both? Globish is like an attempt to separate both. For example, here in Arabic, and I've kind of debated many Arabic teachers, especially teachers of Arabic. I taught a little bit of Arabic to non-native speakers when I lived in Brazil for a while. I tried to separate it a little bit. But then when I checked what most Arab teachers were doing when they taught Arabic as a second language to foreigners, they always associate Arabic with religion, for example, because Arabic, of course, as everybody knows, is the language of Quran. So there's always association with Quran, and I felt this is a bit unfair to foreigners. Maybe they just want the language, but they can't get the language without the culture, because Quran is being used in every example with grammar, and I thought this is a bit unnecessary. You can do it without. You should leave the Quran. You should leave maybe religion as an optional thing. Maybe this will make it more interesting for the foreigner, and he'll be curious to learn more about it, and he will or she will start asking. Then you can introduce them. It's better than forcing it. And so in English, I'm not sure if this is possible, because sometimes in some books you also find aspects of culture, drinking, for example, dating, parts of Western or let's say British or whatever culture is included in the book. And for some students, they feel a bit uncomfortable. And in many newer books, they've made editions, for example, a Middle Eastern edition, where any talk about alcohol or maybe dating or Western culture is not included. So in some books, it's removed. So I'm interested. What do you think about this? Do you think Globish is a successful attempt at separating this, or?
I think Globish, it's not something. I think it comes naturally because the interest is going up. The interest towards the English language in Globish way is going up. So how can I say that? I want to say
people are becoming more interested in this global English, this Globish.
What's made it as an important way to speak and to communicate English. It's not
it's an easy way.
It's not prepared. يعني it's not like just a prepared book and you have to memorize it and use it. It comes by nature. It comes by product.
Yeah, you mean it grew up organically on its own.
Extract. Yeah, it's extract for something is already exist.
Okay, that's an interesting view. It's kind of true in a way if you think of it. Yeah, it wasn't planned. It just happened because of the way us non-natives are using the language. So, maybe that's true. Hajar, did you have something to say?
No, I agree with what the girls they said. So it will be important. It will become important and standard because it's an easy way to learn the language, and it's effective actually.
Yeah, efficacy is an important thing. It's easier to deliver your message that way. Okay. Now let's check the second question here. It says, how important is English for employment opportunities in your country? So let's think a little bit about Libya here. How big a part does fluent English, or let's say a good operating level of English, how important is it for employment opportunities in countries, in Libya, I mean?
Yeah, it's very important.
Now it's very important, but not in a private companies.
In the private sector, you mean, in general, right?
Yeah,
I think so, yeah, because in the public sector, it's not important at all if you think of it, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the private sector, it's important. Can you give me examples? Also, Ibrahim, I heard you saying, yeah. Can you give me an example where you think English is important in Libya, in the workplace today?
I think sending emails, I think.
Yeah, correspondence in general, sending emails, writing reports, things like this, forms, invitations, written stuff. Okay, English is sort of important in that domain, yes. Anything else? Where Samira, you also
also communication. When we communicate with another, countries and vendors, especially vendors, because nowadays our country goes to in this way. They deal with foreigner countries in export and import, and they trying to do something. If we don't have the English language, if we don't have the language, it's hard for us to communicate with them and to do our business in a good way.
Exactly, yes. English for business, exactly right, yeah. For commerce, because if you have a company and you're importing, exporting, you have to deal with agents or vendors or sellers, whatever, from abroad, and you need English as the middle ground, just like the example with the Toyota factory. If the other person you're buying from is in China or in, I don't know, in Italy, you'll probably end up communicating, corresponding in English. So I think that's also true. Okay, so now let's move to a nice sort of all-in-one revision of grammar here. Now, this little exercise, I don't know if little is the right word. It's not little at all, to be honest. It's a good revision of most of the previous levels. So they just want us to find the right verb forms from the text itself, and they're all in blue. It's not too hard, but it's a nice, refreshing exercise, I guess. So the first thing we need to look for is past simple, and like I said, they're all in blue. So let me zoom out, maybe.
Visited.
Yeah, there it is. You can see it. Visited, correct. So visited, this is in past simple. Are there any reached? But it's reached is not.
No, it's not past simple.
Had already, okay.
Had already reached.
Past perfect.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. What about was pretending? What's this?
Past continuous.
No, it's a past continuous.
Past continuous.
Correct. So was pretending, this is past continuous. What about what else do we have? Was chosen.
Had reached, was perfect. Was it's
chosen.
Passive.
Passive.
Yeah,
what kind of it's passive voice, it's passive, but what kind of passive? In
Past
our,
simple passive.
in our
Past.
list, past simple
Yeah,
past.
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 Correct. Because we have two passives in the exercise actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's written also passive.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so we have past simple past. There's another passive.
Is
Yeah,
written.
it's written.
Yeah.
Is written.
Present.
Written.
Yeah.
Correct, correct.
Present.
This is the present passive. What about, let's see, what else do we have? Had reached, I think we talked about it. What's had reached?
Yeah, past perfect.
Past perfect.
Past perfect.
Mhm.
Let's see if we have any other blue parts.
Has become. Present perfect.
Become
Has
present.
become, yeah, present perfect. It's the
Perfect,
only one we
yeah.
didn't talk about. Past continuous, we talked about it. Where is the present continuous?
Where is present continuous?
Can you see it?
Yeah, it's also
Present.
changing. English is also
Is changing?
Yeah.
Correct, correct. This is present continuous.
Yeah. This is
All right. Okay, let's do exercise B here. So it says fill in the gaps with these rules with the continuous, perfect, or simple passive. Okay, so this little box is about the passive. Okay, so we have four options. Not all of it is passive, but passive will be included. So you need to answer simple, passive, continuous,
Aspects.
or
Yeah.
perfect.
Passive, simple, or passive.
Yeah.
Perfect, simple, or passive.
You need to say continuous simple or
Yeah.
continuous passive. Okay.
No, continuous, perfect, yeah. Simple or passive, yeah.
All right.
Aspects here. Yeah.
What about the first one here? What's the right answer, do you think?
Simple, I think. Yeah, we usually use simple.
To talk about
Simple.
things that are repeated, permanent, or completed.
Completed, yeah.
yeah.
About
Simple.
a simple aspect, yeah.
Okay, let's go with simple here. Let's see. Maybe that's right.
Yeah.
What about the second point? What do you think? Oops.
Continuous.
Arabic.
Completed. كيف present simple و completed مش present.
Completed and simple past or past simple.
Past,
Yeah, it's
simple
something.
past, yeah.
Yeah, it's completed. Yeah.
Okay, the second one.
I go with continuous. About things that are in progress, temporary, unfinished.
In
Continuous.
progress.
Yeah.
Did you know that another word for the continuous is the progressive in some books? They call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The present. Okay. Let's see. Maybe that's also correct. What about the next one?
Perfect.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
What about the next one?
Passive.
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 Yeah. We're not focusing so much on the agent, but we're focusing on the action or what happens. Okay. Now, what about the pink parts of the text? It says, look at the verb forms in pink in the article. Which do you think are activity verbs and which do you think is, or which verbs do you think are state verbs? Of course, this is quite important, the difference between state verbs and activity. Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's see. Let's start with the first one, the first paragraph. We don't have any pink verbs here.
Yeah. Just in 4, I think.
Most of them are in the fourth paragraph, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct. So they're all in the last paragraph, the fourth one. So we have the first one here. Seems. What do you think?
State verb.
State.
Okay. State.
There you
Yeah. What about using here? Use.
Action verb.
Okay. So use is an activity verb. Change.
Activity.
Yeah,
Activity.
action also.
Okay. What about believe?
State.
State.
Okay.
State.
So we only have 4, just 4 pink verbs.
And
Aren't.
aren't also.
Aren't. Okay. Verb to be are
Yeah.
or aren't. What do you think of are
State.
and aren't?
State verb.
State.
State. It's a state verb.
Yeah.
Anything else? Are changing. Yeah, it's are. Okay, so that's it. So we only have
Yeah.
these 4, not a lot. Okay, now what does the rule say? The general rule here, it says we don't usually use activity verbs or state verbs in the continuous form.
State verb.
Yeah.
Yeah, state verb, yeah.
But what about, for example, when you say I think you're right, and for example, if you say I'm thinking of having a sandwich, this is an example of a state
It depends.
Yeah.
What do you mean with think?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Depends what you mean by think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think for opinion. You can't
Aha.
use it's a state verb.
Correct.
Think for thinking. It's a activity verb.
Okay, I think you're right. That's it. Now let's check the summary here for all of this, and let's see, maybe we can find some good tips to sort of help us remember all of this. So page 128, let's take a look. Okay, let's go back to the one-page view. All right. So not this, not this. Okay, the English verb system. So this is a nice, I think, summary. So they divided it into the simple, the continuous, the perfect, and the passive. After that, you have the division of activity and state verbs. So the simple aspect, so language could be simple, whether this is present simple, past simple, it doesn't really matter, but this is usually for things which are repeated, permanent or completed, okay? Of course, if it's in the past simple, this means it's maybe permanent or completed. If it's in the present simple, it's of course repeated. Okay, then it says here the continuous aspect. Okay, so our answer is correct. So this is in progress, temporary, maybe unfinished. Okay, was pretending, blah, blah. The perfect, it's linking 2 different times, has become. So this is something that started in the past and it's still going on to today. So it's connecting the past with the present. The next one, had reached, this is past perfect, of course. 2 points in the past. We're linking 2 points in the past. Passive, of course, as most of you, I think, are already aware, it's going to become a very important part of academic English in general, and even English which is used for scientific or academic purposes. So this is also quite important. What else do we have? Let's see. Activity and state verbs. Belongs, believes. We didn't find belongs, right? Did we include belong? Was it in pink?
No.
It wasn't in pink, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not our fault. Okay, other common state verbs have got, hear, believe, agree, forget, mean, understand, like, hate, prefer, belong, own, and cost. All of these are active. Okay, so there's nothing really new. It's more of a sort of a revision of, I think, especially intermediate and maybe pre-intermediate B, this exercise. Okay, so this means we can go back and we can do more exercises. Okay, let's take a look at our next exercise. All right, here we are. So exercise number 5. It says here, work in pairs, name the verb form in bold. In these pairs of sentences, discuss the difference in meaning between A and B in each pair. Okay. I think this is the first time I've seen this kind of exercise. Maybe in this level, it's not the first time, but I mean, in previous levels, we didn't have this kind of question. So here you can notice that at this level, in upper intermediate, you shouldn't only be able to answer the question correctly. You should know what you're doing exactly. So that's why they also want the name of the verb form. So they want you to name it as well. Okay, Brahim, are you there? Brahim, you've been a bit quiet. It's your turn, Ibrahim. What do you think is the difference between A and B in the first group? These two. Let me just box them. Okay. Okay, Ibrahim's a little stuck. Let's see someone else. Okay, Hajar, you can take this one. So what they want is they want you to name the two different verb forms, rules if you want to call them, tenses, whatever, and tell us what's the difference.
I think the first one is past simple, and the second one is past perfect simple.
Okay. So let's start with the first one, the one that you said it's past simple. What's the meaning here, or what's the difference? What do you think?
Means they have already studied.
Okay.
Okay.
Is this A or B?
A.
A, it means they've already studied.
Yeah.
But are they still studying today? Have they finished? What do you think? In A.
They have already finished.
Okay. So they're not studying anymore?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about the next one? B. What's going on here?
They are still studying, maybe.
Okay. Okay, let's say you're 80% right. Who would like to maybe fill in the gaps here? Samira, would you like to add anything to Hajar's answers?
Yeah, okay. The first one, I think it's because it's past simple. They studied Portuguese for 3 years and they already finished. They studied and finished their study. The second one, they have studied Portuguese for 3 years. It's a present perfect. Maybe they still studying, or maybe they just show their experience in studying Portuguese. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's right. I'm not sure about the last part, point of experience.
Experience, yeah.
No, it's correct. Present perfect is used exactly for experience.
Yeah.
So they've studied, but even if it is for experience, I don't think it necessarily means that the action is over, right? So they might still study.
They might still studying, yeah.
Okay, then that's exactly right. I think that's correct. All right, let's check the second couple here. What do you think now of the second couple here, A and B?
Kamal often watches DVDs. Kamal's watching a DVD at the moment. The first one is a habit.
Okay.
He usually do this, but it's watching. It's just watching now at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, correct. Yeah. I think the second couple is sort straightforward. It's not complicated. Okay, let's see the third one. I think we have a new guest here. Karma, are you there? Can you hear us? Hello? Don't know if you can hear us. Karma Lawel, are you there? Okay, I think she can't hear us maybe. Okay, let's rotate. So Samira, okay, you can do this one. The third couple, what do you think?
Jude did her homework when I got home, and Jude was doing her homework when I got home. The first one, past simple. The second one, past continuous. The first one means he's already done his homework. He did it already and finished. The second one means there is an interruption in actions here. When I got home, he was doing at that time when I, entered the home. He was at that time. He was doing his homework.
Okay.
Yeah, past continuous.
But the first one, can you talk a little bit about the first one again?
Jude did her homework when I got home. Yeah, when I'm back home, he's already did his homework and finished it already. Yeah. She, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, she.
Okay. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think, Naha, about this one? Which happened first, Joe doing her homework or you getting home? Which one happened first? Which action happened before the other? What do you think? Naha, are you there? Okay, Naha is not there. Karma, are you there? I can't hear you.
Hello?
Hello? Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, it was muted. I don't know what's that. Okay. For the first one, I think Judy did or finished her homework when I got home. I think when I got home, it's the first action.
So it means that Joe didn't start her homework until you arrived home, till you got home. Is this what you're saying?
I think he finished after I got home.
We don't know whether she finished or not. We're just talking about starting her homework. Did she start after you got home or did she start before you got home?
Okay, she did her homework by the time I got home. So I got home first.
Okay.
Then she did her homework.
Who
the first
agrees?
one when I got home.
Let's see who agrees with you. Who thinks that getting home is the first action and doing homework is the second? Hajar, what do you think? What's your opinion on this? Hajar, number 3.
Yeah, I agree with her. She got home, then he did his homework.
Okay. Karma?
Because I think that I can remember something related at the grammar for at the past perfect grammar for using past perfect. When you use when, you can get rid of had.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. So here there's actually an optional.
It links to action. When links to actions.
There's an optional had.
The first one after when.
Yeah.
The first action is after when.
Correct. And normally there's an optional had here when I had got home. When I had got home, got. But now, okay. What about this one? What if we change it a little bit? What if we do it like this? Joe did And okay, I want you to tell me what you think here, Samir. Joe did her homework when, or maybe let's change it. Her homework when I. What about this one, Samir?
Yeah. Joe had done her homework. Joe had done her homework when I got home.
Mm.
Yeah. I think she finished her homework when I got home.
Yeah, it means when
Yeah.
you entered the
He
house.
already done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was already done.
You're done. Yeah.
She had finished it. But in the example we have in number 3, it's actually the reverse. It means she was watching TV, and when you got home, she just started right at the moment. She heard the door and she
Yeah.
started.
Yeah, you can omit when and hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
And use, for example, Joe
Mhm.
did her homework by the time I had got home.
Yeah, by the time I had got home, or by the time I arrived home, you did her homework. Yeah, it means it's another way of saying when, but when is a lot easier. It's more concise,
Yeah.
right? Just use
Yeah.
when. All right. Okay, now what about the next couple? I think it's Hajar's turn, number 4. Okay, Hajar, tell us what you think of this one. Where's the little box here? Okay, what do you think of the 4th couple here? What's the difference and what's happening here?
The first one is present simple.
Okay.
She teach and
Mhm.
no.
All right, so
Yeah.
it's present simple.
Okay. The second one, she is teaching English. It's a present continuous because it's maybe in just a few weeks, because while she is in Berlin,
Mhm.
so she didn't live in Berlin.
Okay, correct. It's temporary.
Yeah. It's temporary, yeah.
Okay, I think that's pretty much correct. So the first one, this is her job. This is her, let's call it nature. This is what she always does. She teaches English.
Yeah.
Regardless of where she lives. But in the second example, she's doing something that maybe she doesn't normally do. Maybe she's an accountant, but while she's in Berlin, she's teaching. So this means the action of teaching is sort of connected to where she's staying. So as long as she's in Berlin, she's going to continue teaching. But once she leaves it, there's no guarantee that she probably won't teach anymore. It's a bit like this. Okay, now next one. Is it Noha's turn? Is it your turn, or is it Samira now? I can't remember. Okay, let's see. Maybe we have volunteers here. Who would like to tell us a little bit about these two? What's the difference here? Samira, would you like to? What do you think?
Okay. When we got there, the class started. When we got there, the class had started. But 5A is it looks like maybe 3A. Yeah.
Kind of similar.
Yeah.
In a way.
Because when we got there, the class started. I think the class started before we reached the school or the center.
Is this A or B?
No, I'm talking about A.
What about B?
B, when we got there, the class had started. This one. No, the last one is, you know, the action had started when we got the class had started. The class had started before. There's two actions here. The class had started before we reached the center or the school. This is about B.
Right.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah. Sorry.
And the first one, A?
When we got there, the class started. By the time we reached, the class started.
Which one happened first? Which action is before the other?
In A.
In A.
When we got there, the class started. When we got there is the first action.
Correct. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the if you want to make it in a very brief way, we can just use numbers. So if we want to use numbers, we can say 1, 2. 2. So first action, second action, and come on, number 2.
Yeah.
And here it's the other way around. This is first action, this is second action. If you think of it in a timeline. So this is the past perfect, how it's usually used.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice. That's great. What about the last couple here, the last part? Let's see. What do you think now? A and B here, number 6.
Antonio repaired his car last week. His car was repaired last week.
Okay.
Okay. One of them, B, is passive.
Correct.
And A is active. ممكن.
Correct. A is active, but okay,
Yeah.
you're right about that now. But what about the meaning?
Antonio repaired his car by himself for the first one.
Okay, correct.
Antonio's car was repaired. We don't know who did that. Maybe him, maybe another one.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not important. Maybe it's unknown.
Correct. Yeah, we don't really know who repaired the car in the second example.
Yeah.
With Antonio's car was repaired, we don't know. Was it Antonio who repaired it? Was it someone else? We're not really sure. Okay, so that's correct. So this is, you think of it as a nice revision. Now we want to apply some of these rules or tips to do number 6 now. So number 6, we have 3, let's call them mini paragraphs or passages. So let's choose one student for each one. Who would like to volunteer and do the first one? Let's see if we have any volunteers here. Anyone would like to volunteer?
First one.
Yeah.
Choose the correct verb.
Also,
okay.
Okay. Do you want to start, Naha? First one?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
go ahead. You can do the first one.
I started studying Spanish after I went to Argentina on holiday last year. I had never been to South America before, and I couldn't speak a word of Spanish while I had traveled. While I was traveling around the country, I picked up enough words and phrases to get by.
So do you want to choose was traveling in number 4?
Yeah, was traveling. Yeah, and I picked up.
Okay. Okay. So, okay. Let's see someone else who wants to do number 2, and then we'll have a little chat. Hajar, you can do number 2 if you like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Number 2, I told that my pronunciation.
Here you can choose. I told
I
that,
told,
or I was
or-
told that. It's up to you. Which one do you want?
I told that
Okay.
that my pronunciation was being quite good.
Okay.
So when I got home, I decided to learn Spanish properly. A friend recommended a friend was recommended
Okay.
a school, and I've been going there for about 6 months.
Okay. Okay, let's do, before we discuss them, let's do the third one. So Samira, you can do the third one.
Yeah, the third one, I always enjoy, I'm always enjoying, no. I always enjoy
Okay.
the lessons and the language. The language is taught in an interesting way. Or the language, I always enjoy the lesson and the language taught in an interesting way. I think that I have learned a lot.
Okay.
I have learned a lot since I started. It's not all fun though. At the moment, I'm studying for my first exam.
Okay. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the track ready today. I will next lesson, but since we don't have the track, we have to sort of confirm ourselves. Now, let's take a look at all the answers, starting from the very beginning. Is there anything we need to maybe change, or maybe you can all sort of participate in this one? What do you think? Is there something we need to change? We need to maybe improve, fix? In the first paragraph, Noha, Samira, what do you think, Hajar? Or is it okay?
I've started studying English after I went to Argentina on holiday last year.
But it's already chosen. Started as
start yeah. أنا نصلح حالي من زيادة.
Yeah, and also because you have after. Do you get the idea?
Yeah,
so you have word
after.
order. You need the past simple here.
After I was going to Argentina.
Okay, so
I think for the word told, I was told that قيل لي بأن. I was told that my pronunciation was quite good, not was being.
What do you think? Do you agree, Samira? Do you agree we need to make some changes here?
I'm thinking of after I went and after I was going to Argentina last year. But,
you're still there. Okay.
Yeah, because last year, but
You want to know which one is right? Is it went or is it was going? Is this your question?
Yeah, but because last year I think we will go with one. But
correct. Yeah, because you have a specific point in the past You're forced to use the past simple here.
Yeah.
Okay. What about 3 and 4, Samira? What do you think?
I think while I had traveled around the country, not just while I had traveled.
While always come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct. While is a classical time phrase used a lot with the past continuous. And also traveling is a kind of long, sort of a longish action. So it works nicely with past continuous. And because there's also a contrast with the past continuous was traveling, I picked up. Long action, short action. So during this long action, this short action of picking up the language or picking up the words happened. So this is also correct. So this means, all in all, this part is sort of error-free. It's correct. Now the second part. The second part, it was originally was told, but we're sort of just reviewing it now. So the original answer was I was told, I told, I mean, I told, but. So let's break this down. So Noha thinks that was told is the right one. What do you think, Samira? Do you think that's correct? And what do you think, Hajim? Do you want to defend your position? Should we use I told?
No, I think I was told that my pronunciation quite good.
Okay, so you also, so both Samira and Noha think it's I was told.
Was quite good, not was being also.
Okay, but why is that? Okay, let's make the changes and then I want to see your reasoning. First changes, then reasoning.
Because being here is not activity verb. It's state verb. Be here is state verb.
Okay.
So we can't use being like this. So I don't know.
Okay.
Was being here? No.
Okay, what about decided? What do you think, Samira? And what do you think of was quite good and was being good?
Yeah, that my pronunciation was being good. I don't know, but maybe it's true that be is a state of verb. We can make ing, but here maybe it's become. If it mean become quite good, we can say it was being quite good because we talk.
Actually, there's a little sort of hidden something. Let me show you. So this part, I want you to tell me all of this sentence. What kind of sentence is it?
Passive.
Passive, but it sounds a lot like, it's passive, but it sounds like reported speech, right? I was told that my pronunciation was good. It sounds like whoever is speaking here is reporting what the locals in South America told her or told him. You get the idea? And of course, with reported speech, as you know, there's always this little shift to the past. This might be one of the reasons why.
But reported speech, they
usually mention the person.
I haven't seen something typical to this because they told me that. Not was told, like a passive.
Correct, speech. They told me that. They don't use the passive normally. They use the active.
Yeah.
Okay. But you're right about was being doesn't work here anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that my pronunciation was good. because being good is better for behavior, I think. If you say my behavior, or he was being good, or he's, even this is a little, I don't know, it's a bit weird. I'm trying to think of examples where was being is.
I'm being late, but being here, not for something to describe an activity. I'm being late.
I think it describes
itself as a word, being itself, not
the first example I can think of is difficult. So if I ask you about Ahmed, I say, how's Ahmed doing? Let's say you're Ahmed's teacher, and I ask you, how's Ahmed doing? You tell me he's being difficult. This is a recent change. He's not always like this, but he's being difficult lately. It means this is a new behavior he picked up. He's not being cooperative. He's not being cooperative.
Yeah, this is what I mean when I said that was being is if it's mean become quite good. It's her maybe pronunciation was changed to be better. Maybe was being better, because if it has the same meaning with become, it's fit here.
We can
use you both mean being here like
becoming.
Getting.
Getting.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Being getting.
With good in this example, it doesn't work. My pronunciation was being good. We can't use it with pronunciation generally. We always say my pronunciation is getting better. My pronunciation is improving, maybe. Or if you just want to use a straightforward state verb, was good or is good. So decided is also correct, as it is like this, decided. What about number 9? A friend was recommended school. What do you think of this?
A friend recommended. Because you mentioned who did that. A friend recommended.
Yeah, correct.
It's active here, not passive.
So this is active.
And I go there for about 6 months. I have been going. Yeah.
Correct. I've been going, because she's still going. She hasn't stopped.
Yeah, that's right.
She's still studying. Okay, so now I think this one is error-free. What about the last one? It's about 11. What do you think is better? I always enjoy, or I'm always enjoying?
No, I always enjoy.
State.
Yeah. Enjoying works better as a state verb. Okay, and the lessons and the language is taught in an interesting way.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think that I've learned a lot since, so this is a hint. You need to use the present perfect. Since I started, it's not all fun though. At the moment, I'm studying.
Yeah.
Okay,
also hint.
Yeah, present continuous. All right, so you can see that it's a nice mix of everything. They used almost everything here in this little paragraph. And the story, of course, is related. We just divided it for our purposes, but it's one talk. It's one conversation. Okay, so let's take a look at our next topic, open learning. So we're still in the field of education, I think. The first one was mainly about English, but this one is more open, I guess. So here we're going to talk about auxiliaries, and with education we'll focus on some vocabulary related to education. So let's start with number 1. So number 1, it says here, what is the difference between these words or these phrases? Okay, I think this shouldn't be too difficult. We have an undergraduate, we have a graduate, and a postgraduate. What's the difference?
Undergraduate didn't finish his university study.
Okay, A graduate.
Graduate, finished.
Right.
Postgraduate, continue study continue his upper, I don't know.
High study, yeah.
Yeah, high study, upper level.
Okay. What's the difference between a subject, a module, and a course?
Okay.
Subject is a theme of something or the topic of something, maybe. A model is something we need to follow as a standard, method as a standard. This is the model. Course is a course. Course is, course
Period
is,
of time.
yeah, period of time has many subject or skills. It's not necessary to have, but it's.
A course?
Yeah, as Noha mentioned, it's a period of time, special lesson most of the time in some subject, for example, English or mathematics or, statics or.
Okay.
But it's not necessary. Sometimes use different subject.
Okay. What about an essay, an assignment, and a dissertation? Are they different? Is it the same thing?
No, essay like essay.
It's a long article.
Yeah.
Correct. It is an article.
Yeah.
But also a dissertation is an article, if you think of it.
Yeah, it's new for me, dissertation. I don't know what
okay.
before, yeah.
Now, do you know what a dissertation is?
No, I haven't heard it before because, but an essay, I think it's maybe you mentioned that dissertation is the same as an essay, kind of an essay.
It's not exactly, but I'll tell you the difference. But I want to see maybe someone here can explain it. Let's see if someone. Brahim, are you there? Would you like to give it a try?
An essay.
Yeah. Okay. Tell us the difference. Essay, assignment, and dissertation.
An essay it's a letter. يعني كيف نقولها؟ الميني فيرجن بتاع الاساينمنت.
Okay. The last one, dissertation.
هذا يعني النسخة الكبيرة بمعنى.
Okay. Let's see. Maybe Hajar. Hajar, what do you think? Maybe you have an opinion here. What do you think the difference between an essay, an assignment, and dissertation is? What do you think, Hajar? Hajar, I'm not sure if you can hear us. Maybe she's not there. Okay, so let me tell you about the dissertation since it's the new one. A dissertation is actually what you write when you're doing a master degree or when you're doing a PhD. Yes. Yeah. Okay. This is the dissertation.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Then we have a mark, continuous assessment, progress report. What are these? What do you think? I think a mark is clear. When you have an exam, your teacher or professor or whatever will mark it, right? So this is
continuous evaluation, something related to evaluation assessment.
Correct.
Continually.
Because some courses, they don't have a final exam. For example, our teaching course, the one we did at the British Council called CELTA, we didn't have a final exam. But we had continuous assessment. Yeah, so we were constantly assessed, and if things weren't going well, they will warn you. They'll tell you, listen, you need to work on this, you need to work on. So it was like that.
But the report, it's like the report card that the children given, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. This is a progress report. Yeah, they show you how you did in the first semester, second, your tests, your quizzes. your writing, your behavior, your oral, so on. This is the idea. Okay, we have a tutor, a lecturer, and a professor.
A lecturer,
Yeah.
professor, teacher who gives who do lectures.
Okay, but so a professor does lectures, you mean?
Yeah.
And what does a lecturer do?
Lecturer. No, professors. Not the lecturer. Who is the person? Who does the usually does the lecture?
Okay.
Lecture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Professor, teacher at university or something.
All right. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Tutor, like trainer.
Okay.
For example, you are a tutor, aren't you?
Depends. A tutor here, it depends on the numbers of students and the type of lesson. For example, this right now, this I don't think this is tutoring, this is teaching, because this is a sort of a bigger class and it's not exclusive. But if it's like one-on-one, if it's a private lesson, you just have one student, then it's tutoring.
Okay.
And classically, I don't know, even in old movies, when they show the old British, for example, the lords and ladies, there's always this kind of tutor who lives in the house, and he has nothing to do but teach the kids. He's one of the members of the household, right? So he basically lives there, and his job is just teaching the kids. It's tutoring, it's not teaching, but so it's one-on-one, and it's like a private tutor. So it's a bit like this.
Just I want, sorry, can I add a point here?
Sure.
I don't know if it's correct or not, but I think number 5 is related to number 1, because the tutor is most of the time they are ungraduated.
Undergraduates, you mean?
Most of the time, it's not all of the time. And the lecturer who has already graduated, the professor also all the time he is post-graduated. I think it's related to each other. I go on this, way.
This might be a very good. It might be right. Yes, you mean the credentials, the academic credentials are different in a tutor and in a lecturer and a professor. Yes, I think that's a logical assessment. I think yes, because professors are almost always postgraduates and senior postgraduates. It means they've been postgraduates for a while, not even fresh postgraduates most of the time. So correct, that's correct, because usually they go through degrees. First of all, they start as lecturers, then they become assistant professors, and professors only after they have to do their research, sabbatic leave, and so it's a long story. Okay, good point. Then we have a tutorial, a seminar, and a lecture.
Lecture, what you have got at university.
Okay, correct.
Seminar, something you prepare about like a research, like a presentation.
Yeah.
And small report about something.
Okay.
Given topic or something. Tutorial. I can remember something when I was studying in at university college. Tutorial like a lecture about solving problems and
mathematical problems.
Okay. Mathematical problems. We call it tutorial.
Okay, kind of right. I think tutorials they differ from one college to another. I remember in medicine tutorials were a bit like mini lectures. Maybe maybe there's a small point.
ورشة عمل ولا هيك حاجة؟
لا، كان عندنا العملي بروحها. Practical is separate. It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Tutorial was a bit like an extra thing, an optional thing, that if you didn't understand something from the lecture, you can in the tutorial, because it's in a classroom, it's not in a hall, so you're closer to the professor or to the person doing.
Also at engineering college we do the same. Yeah. It's
and
not
you can ask him.
hall. Yeah.
You can there's more open discussion with the speaker. It's not like a lecture. You can't interrupt a lecturer. You know, it's difficult. But with the tutorial, you can ask, and there's more. You know, it's a more two-way thing. Okay, number 7, we have fees, we have a student loan, and we have a scholarship.
Fees is the expense or the money that students have to pay to for his study or accommodation or something.
Correct.
This is fees. Student loan is the money that the student asking for. Maybe it will help him in his study or doing his, in his study. He's asking for a loan.
Okay.
Scholarship is that expense that the government give it to the student to complete his study or to go abroad to study or.
Right. It's usually the government, but sometimes it's paid by someone else, but usually government. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the last one? I think it's not too difficult. A degree, a master's, and a PhD.
PhD for postgraduate.
Yeah.
Master's for graduate. Also postgraduate. A degree for a graduate.
Yeah, a degree is usually your first degree, some kind of bachelor degree or high diploma or something. This is the first one. Masters usually come after that, master's degree, and then PhD.
Then PhD.
Okay, now let's sort of confirm all of this, and let's see if we missed something from the summary. Let's take a look together and see how many of these did we get spot on, and how many maybe need a little. 129, 127. I think we need to see 127. Okay, here it is. Okay, so it's a fat table with lots of words. So we know undergraduate, we know graduate, we know postgraduate. Let's start with module. So it's a module, according to the definition here, it's one part of a university or a college course. It's in a way, it's like a semester if you think of it. It's part of your full course, your yearly, your annual course, or your whole thing. I'm not sure if it's an annual course. An essay, it's a short piece of writing on a particular subject. And most of the time, an essay has to include an opinion. Almost always, not always, but usually there is some kind of opinion. Even in IELTS, they have essays because you need to include your opinion on a certain topic. An assignment is a piece of work given to someone as part of their studies. It's kind of something you have to do. A dissertation is a long piece of writing on a particular subject. Here, I think the definition is not very specific because usually dissertations, you don't write them unless you're doing your final part of your master's or PhD. That's called a dissertation. Mark, continuous assessment progress report. I think it's we know what it is. Tutor, it's he's a teacher who works with one student or a small group. This is a tutor. A lecturer is somebody who teaches at university or college. Professor is the highest level. A teacher of the highest level in a university department. So a tutorial is a period of study with a tutor. A seminar is a class with a small group of students in which a small group discuss a particular subject. Okay, so it's like a short, open discussion in a way. A lecture, a talk on a subject, especially at university or college. Fees, we answered it correctly. A loan is clear. Scholarship, it's money paid by the government, by the school, to a student who has a lot of ability but not much money. in Libya, it's the opposite. They usually give scholarships to rich students who don't have any ability. But it shouldn't be that way. Then we have a master's degree, advanced university, PhD, it's the higher one. Okay, so I think the only ones where we weren't maybe 100% correct is module. We didn't get it completely correct, I think.
Yeah.
What else? The rest are okay. Dissertation was completely new, so that's not important. Seminar, we weren't sure about seminar either, so it's more of an open discussion. But the rest, I think all of them are, we got them correctly, all of them are right. Anyways, this topic will be continued, of course, in our next lesson. So we'll talk in more detail about education. And it would be good if you can also do a little checkup yourselves. Also, please remind me to send you the book, all three of you, okay?
Okay.
Samira, Noha, and also Ibrahim. And just for fun, if you have an English dictionary, take a look at what these words, the definitions in the dictionary, because the dictionary will probably give you a much more interesting definition than the one we have in the book. Because the ones in the book are usually more of, it's a rough definition. It's just something to clarify. But if you check it on your, if you look it up on your own, you'll probably find more interesting detail. So next lesson, we have some listening. We can also do the listening for this one to be 100% sure. You can also go back and listen to this. Then we have, I think, what auxiliaries. Okay, so we'll talk a lot about auxiliaries in our next lesson. Okay, we have a little bit of question tags, contractions. Okay, so I'll see you on what day is it? Wednesday, right? I'll see you again on Wednesday, inshallah, okay?
Inshallah. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
then. You're welcome. Have a good night, and I'll see you soon.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye.